Why are dream jobs a scam? Because we're led to believe these job roles are going to be something that they never turn out to be. In fact, quite the opposite, and we are lied to from the off. And did you know the most unhappiest dream workers are teachers, lawyers, and doctors? The roles that we are told to aspire to, not only by the school teachers, but our parents. Go to university, become a doctor and a lawyer, go work in central London and New York City, and you'll earn loads of money and you'll live a life of blah, blah, blah. And it doesn't turn out to be that way. And I'm going to back that up in this video. And actually there is a real problem and a lie with dream jobs. They're just jobs. And I think we need to come to realize that and make wiser decisions. And hopefully this video is going to allow you to think clearly. Let me back it up with some stats though, real quick. In those three professions, around 60 to 90% of them suffer with burnout, stress, and emotional fatigue. A significant number, doctors 46%, teachers 86%, and lawyers 92% say their mental health has declined due to the work that they do. Many professionals describe symptoms like insomnia, anxiety, and compassion fatigue. That is only a small part of the long data and stats and facts that are out there and all the surveys that have been done about these people who are suffering with a lot of problems due to their workload, what they have to do, and all the problems that come with it. I want to kick this off with a story of when I was in the sauna. I go once a week with a couple of friends of mine. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll see me posting on my lifestyle page about when I go to the sauna. And we talk a lot about content creation because my two other friends, they're into content and business. And we were talking about not going to university and that it's a waste of time if you want time freedom and financial stability and to build a life that you love. It's what I say, design a life that was built by you. Anyway, there was an older gentleman in there who turned out to be a medical professor who actually turned around and we had a debate, it was a healthy one, who said, well, actually I teach pre-graduates who are going into the medical field and they're really excited to do the job and help people. Now, this line really irritates me and I'm sure there will be some baby boomers who will disagree in the comments, but it does annoy me because he turned around and said, and I feel like I won the debate, which I'm going to explain in a minute, they're excited to do the job, which I turned around to him and I said, I hear that, but there's two things wrong with this. They were probably pressured by their parents because their parents want bragging rights. I can back that up because I've street interviewed over 300 graduates or pre-grads.
So we're asking people today, is university a waste of time? What's your thoughts?
Well, having completed a degree myself and not really used it, I would say, yeah, it is a bit of a waste of time and a money-making scheme.
I don't think it's worth it. I did an art degree and I ended up at a tattoo studio.
I do think it's a waste of time. I've done a bachelor's, worked, then I did a master's. Do I feel like I have more job opportunities or anything? No. Did I not earn money? Yes.
Who are going to university, and I've asked the question, you can see this on my short form content, why are you going to university? Well, I don't know, my parents want me to do it. What are you doing? Going into medical or law? Because my parents did it, because my uncle did it. They're not driven by a passion because let's face it, to find out your dream and the goals that you want from life, you've got to experience life. And at the age of 18, 19, 20, you don't really know. So this whole fluff of, I'm going to university and I'm going to become a doctor and a teacher and a lawyer or whatever it might be to help people, it's not correct, right? It's so backwards. I turned around to this gentleman, the professor, and said, why don't we ask these people 10 years into that game when they are dealing with high pressure, high stress, toxic co-workers, underpaid, understaffed, potentially relationship problems because they're overcommitted to a job title and a high paying corporate job. And when I say high paying, it could be 100 grand, 120, 150, but most GPs are actually on minimal wage anyway. They're hardly paid for what they do. They're pressured within their job to get people in and out, and they lose sight of helping people because they're under so much pressure. I have a family member who's in the private medical sector. Believe me, they hate it. As a content creator within the business sector, I've had a lot of feedback through my DMs, my emails, my messages, reaching out and saying that the NHS is one of the most toxic places to work. And that is openly known. That's not me just saying it. So those are my first 2 points. Pressure from parents to actually go and get a degree in an A-level, to go and get the dream job, just so the parents have bragging rights to talk about them at a barbecue. That's where I have a problem with it. And also actually asking them 10 years into the job, do you still love your dream job? The answer will be no for a lot of them. And again, stats and surveys all back that up online. Now, a lesson from me to you. As I have gotten older, I have learned that it's not about having the perfect job. It's not about having the perfect business model. It's about protecting your peace living with freedom, making memories, and just being fulfilled and having purpose in what you do and working towards your goals and your fulfillment. That's the sweet spot. And I've never found a job that really gave me that. And I'm going to dive into my previous job a little bit towards the end of this video, but I love what I do. Creating YouTube within the business sector, running my own business. I love it all. But really, the goal for me and the dream is time freedom, spending it with family, and just doing what I want, when I want, with who I want. That's the goal. And I think as adults, we can all agree that should be the common goal. Again, going back to this whole, well, I'm going into this field because I want to help people and I want to do this and I love it so much. Remember, when you hear someone say, I love my job and we're a family and I love my co-workers, they're probably suffering with loss of identity. They probably have an alter ego. They probably haven't figured out who they are. They're probably quite confused and they don't have true perspective yet. I found out you only really understand this as you become maturer and older and you have something that is bigger than you, like a child, like a family, like your own personal goals, right? The other thing is as well, with a dream job comes toxic co-workers. It's like the catch-22. You could go into a job role that you really like, but a real negative about it is there's always going to be that one or two people that just literally make your life living hell, or you can't stand them, which then kind of counteracts the whole, is it a dream job? Which is why I'm saying at the beginning of this video, there isn't such thing as a dream job. It's like a dream. Made up, it's fabricated, it doesn't exist. Also, the other thing is, I've written down here, no one really cares. This is quite a harsh point, but I need to drill it home. You could do really well at your job. You could go above and beyond. You can do the whole come in early, stay late, but you're not really rewarded. Hard work just results in more work. You could do your job literally to the T, and there could be someone else who goes above and beyond. No one cares about either. And that's just the truth. And again, a dream job for some people in the beginning, if you're young and naive, you think, well, if you go in and you work hard, we've all seen that new starter. I mean, I had lots of these new starters in my last job. They come in, they try and change the world. You're sitting there watching them thinking, I won't bother because no one cares. And then they go through burnout, they feel fed up, they get frustrated, and then all of a sudden the job doesn't look great. And then they're like, no one really cared about all that extra work. And we're like, could have told you that from the off. Remember, the ultimate dream is freedom. And unfortunately, you don't get that in a job. Now, I want to pass on at this point. Take risks. You want to go for something bigger and better than a career? Take risks on yourself. And it's frustrating when I hear people say, well, job security, it doesn't exist. Starting a business is risky. No, it's not. And how are we calculating risk when we say these things? It does irritate me when people say starting a business is risky. What, more risky than staying in your dream job, becoming depressed, hitting a midlife crisis, loss of identity, fake enthusiasm, going home and arguing with your partner, feeling like you are not valued, that you've dropped all your standards in life, ended up on this hamster wheel that you repeat every single day, every single week, month and year? What's the biggest risk? How are we measuring risk here? The biggest risk of all is taking no risk. Surely. Back yourself. Now, the world moves fast, and this happened a lot in my last job. I really enjoyed it. The job role. I accepted the job and, I got on fine, and 98% of people that I worked with, I had no problem. I thoroughly enjoyed the job. I did not love it, and I also understood the exchange. I was there to fulfill the role. They were going to pay me for my time. It wasn't justified and it wasn't a fair exchange, but I was getting paid nonetheless. And I enjoyed the job, but it was very tech savvy and they moved very quickly. And I understood that I didn't want to keep up with how fast they were moving because they were trying to push me for promotions. And I knew that I would become more entwined and trapped and tangled in this corporate company if I was to move with how fast they were going. And I didn't want to do that because I wanted freedom. I wanted to live life on my terms. I didn't want to go up into that acute point of the corporate world. So I took action, and I really want all of you to take action. Now, the other thing is as well, you don't need as much money as you think. This is the problem with going for your dream job. You want to climb the corporate ladder and you want to go through promotions and you want to earn as much money as you can. But this is wage slave mentality. This is earning the money and then spending the money and then getting the mortgage and then getting the finance car. If you don't fall into the consumer habits of society and the pressure of making you spend money, you'll realise you don't need as much money as you think. You don't need to be doing the 40, 50 hours in your dream job. You could work less. Maybe you could work part-time if you were just to live on less, protect your peace, be happy, make memories, and stop spending money at every given moment because society is pressuring you to do so. Keeping up with the Joneses will keep you broke. Now, what I want to do is I want to give you 5 signs that you might need to get out of your dream job. Number 1, when you go home and you're still thinking about your job is a massive red flag. You should not be clocking out and still thinking about your job. Oh, what are they going to think? What are they going to say? I've had a day off. I'm not feeling well. Oh, are they talking about me? If you're thinking about your job when you're driving home or you've clocked out and then you get home and you're going to be with your family and you cannot switch off, you need to leave that job. Number 2, if you have developed an alter ego, so if you are acting a different way, if you are pretending to be a character in your job role, there is no dream job there. You have changed. You are now in the phase of loss of identity and you are not being authentic, and this is going to catch up with you later in life. Number 3, if they expect more without giving you any extra pay, if they keep gaslighting you or pressuring you into doing the step-up role, there's no dream job there. Do not do extra work for no extra pay. Number 4, if you have that gut-wrenching Sunday feeling, the anxiety, the apprehensiveness of thinking, oh God, I've got to go into work. You know, when you'd have to go to primary school or secondary school when you were younger, you know, and you're thinking, oh God, I've got to go to school on Monday. If you're getting that feeling as an adult, it's a massive no-no. And then number 5, this is a big one for me. In the last 6 months, if you have not learned a new skill set that could be applied to you personally or to another company, and you have not earned more money in the last 6 months, massive no-no. As humans, you are capable of greatness. You should not be stagnant for 6 months and be okay with it. Your company will never pay you enough money internally on the 2 to 4% pay rise in your job role to keep up with inflation. And if you're not learning new skill sets, you are falling behind in a very fast-moving world where AI could possibly wipe out you and your job. You're standing there scratching your head thinking, what the hell am I going to do now? So just think about that. In the last 6 months, what have you learned that could be applied anywhere and everywhere? And have you been paid more? If you are aspiring to have more from life and you want to create your own dream career, your own dream life, there'll be 2 tutorials at the end of this. What business models replace your 9 to 5 and how to quit your job and build an online business. We're in exciting times, and I would hate for all of you just to sit there scratching your head, going on this hamster wheel every day, being a part of the corporate zombies on London Bridge that get off at 9 a.m. In the thousands go across London Bridge, and then at 5 p.m. thousands come back to the train station on repeat, getting caught up in the corporate world. Don't keep up with the Joneses. Don't be influenced by parents. Don't listen to people and take advice from those who you wouldn't want to have their kind of life. And my gosh, take some big risks. Until next time, my good people, if you did like this video, please do like and subscribe and let me know in the comments, have you found your dream job or what are you doing with your life? I'd love to know. But until next time, I'll see you all soon.